no pamphlet. Give me that. Give me that.
They're allowed to take our information.
I'm not talking to you. Don't talk to me. All right?
They're allowed to take our information.
Don't you take nothing. Don't you hand her nothing.
We're allowed to give them information.
You better not, I'm going to tell you what, you better not get not near one of these kids a pamphlet. They kids.
They can
Give them one. Give them one. Give them one.
Bro, you don't losing y'all up here.
Get on the bus.
Go get on the bus and go home.
Shalom. All praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Rachakodash. Yahweh being the name of the Heavenly Father, whom this world ignorantly calls God, the Holy One of Israel, in the name of his only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, whom this world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, and the Holy Spirit. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and peace and mercy to the hopeful elect, those men that are doing his work in sincerity and in truth, across the four corners of the earth, presenting their bodies as a living sacrifice. And much love to the 1/3 and the innumerable multitude of you believers out there. To you all, I say shalom and greetings, and I pray, Lord willing, that this lesson is edifying through the Spirit. So as you just saw a video of what I presume to be, based on the voice and the actions, was an Edomite handing out basically flyers and pamphlets to young so-called black Americans, which are really Israelites, right? You so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you are the Israelites according to the Bible. Black is a color, not a nationality, right? But then you see staff members upset, predominantly one woman upset about her passing out those flyers. And, as much as we get on to end up with situations like this, even though she was mad masculine, but she was right. She was, this is the only time when it's really okay for the woman to step into, and it's not even masculinity, it's just really womanly pride, motherly pride, if you will. When a woman acts as a mother in defense of her young ones, when a woman becomes, the husband isn't like, say for instance, a woman has a husband and the husband isn't around, she is supposed to be the next layer of protection for her children, right? So I completely understand when a woman like this is a staff member and you have Edomites acting this way. So we get on the black woman, we get on the N-dub. But in this instance, she was right for getting loud and upset and aggressive towards this lady. And see the lady come up passively passing out these pamphlets, but really they just want to destroy you Israelites. They want to kill off, unalive, shall I say, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And I have a few scriptures that I want to get here and get, but I actually have some of these quotes from who is Margaret Sanger, okay? Margaret Sanger, and I mean, brothers, we've been going into this woman. Let me see. Actually, before I get some of the in-depth stuff that I have about her and some of her quotes, let me go ahead and do the quick Wikipedia search, and let's see what they say about Margaret Sanger. Margaret Sanger. And they called her an American activist. That's the crazy part. That's Babylon for you, man. All right, let's see. Wikipedia. All right, it says Margaret Higgins Sanger. It says, also known as Margaret Sanger Slee, was an American birth control activist, sex educator, writer, and nurse. Sanger popularized the term birth control, opened the first birth control clinic in the United States, and established organizations that evolved into Planned Parenthood Federation of America. All right. She was born in New York. She died in Tucson, Arizona. All right. But they're trying to make it look like she looks like a straight demon. When you really look into her eyes, she looks like a straight demon. She make it look like she was about the representation of women and things like that and pushing things forward. But this woman had a very demonic agenda, okay? When your enemy tells you to unalive your own children, you have to consider that something is not appropriate. All right. So I'm gonna get maybe one or two of her quotes. Then I'm gonna get some scriptures, and I'm gonna jump back to some of our other ones. I have one here that says 1916 American birth control crusader. It says Margaret Sanger opened the first birth control clinic in the United States, which led to her arrest for distributing information on contraception. Sanger founded the American Birth Control League, which later became the Planned Parenthood of Federation of America. She has been criticized for supporting eugenics. All right, so let me get that word eugenics. Eugenics says the study of how to arrange reproduction within a human population to increase the occurrence of heritable characteristics regarded as desirable. See, so it's about selection, if you will. I think it's something called natural selection. I forget how that goes, but selection, heritable characteristics. So they want you to be upstanding. They want you to be based on their mentality of what's going to be an upstanding citizen. But the thing is, proper, righteous, heritable characteristics aren't provided by the Edomites, right? That's provided through the nation of Israel, through the elect of the nation of Israel, right? But it says regarded as desirable. Hey, what's the main characteristic? What's the two main characteristics we would like people to be, right? Faithful, and that comes submission to the Most High, right? And secondly, we want you to be righteous, man. You know, it says developed largely by Sir Francis Galton as a method of improving the human race, eugenics was increasingly discredited as unscientific and racially biased during the 20th century, especially after the adoption of its doctrines by the Nazis in order to justify their treatment of Jews, disabled people, and other minority groups. Right, so they were basically trying to annihilate certain groups, certain characteristics in order to promote others, the way of the Edomite. So let me go ahead and get some of these scriptures real quick. You know, and this is right here is Hosea, the 9th chapter, Hosea 9 and 14. And see, the Lord brings the truth of the scriptures to reality, man. This is Hosea 9 and 13. Ephraim, right, which is talking about the head of the northern kingdom, but ultimately all of the northern kingdom. Ephraim, as I saw Tyrus, is planted in a pleasant place, but Ephraim shall bring forth his children to the murderer. Right? It says Ephraim shall bring forth his children to the murderer. And this is southern and northern kingdom have done this, right? And, you know, obviously they have olden ways of being able to put their children through the fire and things like that. But translating to today's time, when you bring forth your children to the murderer, you do things like take them to a Planned Parenthood, to a abortion clinic, right? You take them to situations that is going to ultimately not going to be for their good. All right, but it said they bring forth his children to the murderer. It says, give them, O Lord, what wilt thou give? So what do you do when you when you enter an abortion clinic, when you enter into a situation where you bring forth your children to the murderer? And who's the murderer? Ultimately, the murderer is Esau, Edom, man. You know, wherever he goes, he's bringing death with him. Death follows, right? It says, what wilt thou give? Give them a miscarrying womb and dry breasts. And so this is the repercussion of women that consistently go and they get abortions. You know, you'll find women that say I've had 1, 2, 3 abortions and they can't produce children, right? Because they've, you know, had an Edomite come up in there and scrape around, messing around, putting parts of you, doing things you're not supposed to do, pulling baby particles out, doing all kinds of stuff that's unnatural. Okay, so after that, you'll find a lot of women have miscarriages often, right? Their breasts no longer produce milk. You know, it's a completely different aspect of it, okay? And, you know, so they're telling our children, hey, go ahead, take these pamphlets. And she said it's not illegal for us to give them information. But the information that you're giving them is the death of our future generations. Now, we understand that America is ultimately about to be destroyed off the face of the earth. But we still want our people to thrive. We still, one of the first commandments is to be fruitful and multiply. You know, but Esau they used Planned Parenthood as a weapon, right? As a weapon. That's why you brothers, you really don't need to be laying with nobody who's just is just a straight up dirtbag or a sleazeball. And you women, the same goes. Don't let any man just put his rod up in you. And you know that he's not going to be a good father. He wouldn't help you in a certain situation. So then you have to consider things like abortion. Okay. It used to be a proud thing to have children amongst women. And it used to be a disgraceful or shameful or embarrassing thing if you didn't produce children. Okay. But nowadays you got women saying, I need some Henny and a Plan B. You know, letting you know they letting dudes smack raw, do whatever they want, ejaculate all up inside them. And as long as they got a Plan B, they like it's gonna be all right. But this is Second Esdras. Actually, I'm sorry, I don't think I want that verse. This is Genesis the 29th chapter, and I'm starting at 30. It says, and he went in also unto Rachel, and he loved also Rachel more than Leah, and served with him yet 7 other years, right? So you know the story about Jacob. He served under Laban for 14 years, 7 years for Leah. He initially served 7 years for Rachel, but then Leah was the older sister, so he made him take Leah first, so then he worked another 7 years to get Rachel. Okay, but it says, and when the Lord Yahweh saw that Leah was hated, right, he opened her womb, but Rachel was barren. So Jacob loved, which is our forefather Israel, he loved Rachel more. So he was giving Rachel more attention. You know, he liked how she looked. That's who he originally wanted in the first place. So Leah wasn't getting the same type of love that Rachel was getting. So the Lord made her become delicate in the eyes of Jacob, right? So he opened her womb, but Rachel wasn't able to have children. It says, and Leah conceived and bare a son, and she called his name Reuben, for she said, surely the Lord hath looked upon my affliction. Now, therefore, my husband will love me. All right. And so, and Reuben means seed as a son. And Rachel, actually, after this, Rachel had 4 children to start off with. She had Reuben, she had Simeon, she had Levi, and she had Judah, the first 4 born sons of the nation of Israel. Right, but it was basically after this, I think I got a verse on it. You know, after this is when you get to see as a matter of fact, after she had Judah, she said she left bearing. Okay, but you saw it was an envy going out amongst them for this behavior. This is Genesis 31. And when Rachel saw that she bare Jacob no children, Rachel envied her sister and said unto Jacob, give me children or else I die. You know, so she basically was like, give me a child, you know, thinking that it was Jacob's fault, right? It says, and Jacob's anger was kindled against Rachel. He got pissed off. He says, and he said, am I in God's stead, who hath withheld from thee the fruit of the womb? He's like, basically like, we get down all the time, but you just not having children. How am I supposed to give you something? I'm not the Most High. Obviously, the Most High has decided that you shouldn't have children, right? And she said, behold, my maid Bilhah, go in unto her, and she shall bear upon my knees, that I may also have children by her. So this is where the process of giving the handmaid and the concubines, well, it didn't begin here, because actually Sarah did it with Hagar to Abraham. But you can see the commonality between those two situations. And so it used to be she was envious of it, because it used to be a great time for a woman to have children, right? But nowadays they want to take up, they want to unalive our children. They want to tell you, if you do have children, they go out and have them with deadbeat dudes, a dude that doesn't care about himself or you, right? They first resort, oh yeah, I don't want to have it, I'm not ready for it, I'm not responsible, I'm not old enough, right? And then they go straight to a clinic, okay? But then after this, the Lord opened Rachel's womb, and surprisingly, she said lest she die, but ultimately Rachel did die by childbirth from having Benjamin. I believe Rachel had two sons. I think she had Joseph and Benjamin. Okay, but this goes to just show how important it is. But people like Margaret Sanger, she wanted our people destroyed, man. She wanted our people destroyed. She wanted to annihilate the so-called black people, man. Okay. I had the etymology for abortion. It says the expulsion of the fetus before it is viable, right? So they're trying to destroy you before it even has any liveliness to it, right? But they be alive in there. Those babies have beating hearts. Those fetuses have beating hearts when they take them out. It says originally of deliberate as well as unintended miscarriages, from Latin abortionem, miscarriage, abortion, procuring of an untimely birth, from past particle stem of aborire to miscarry, be aborted, fail, disappear, pass away, a compound word used in Latin for deaths, miscarriages, sunsets. Appear, it says auriri means appear, be born, arise. You see, so ultimately they want to make you pass away as soon as you're born. They want you to make you take that death as soon as you be born. And this is what Margaret Sanger wanted for our community, our people, for the Southern Kingdom. It says, she got a quote here, Planned Parenthood's founder, Margaret Sanger, advanced the Negro Project, which included her cooperation with the KKK and advocated for a eugenics approach to breeding for the gradual suppression, elimination, and eventual extinction of defective stocks. I say stocks, maybe. Defective stocks. Those human weeds which threaten the blooming of the finest flowers of American civilization. And see, this is why you so-called white people are going into slavery. This is why the Lord is going to take you out and he's going to destroy you wholly and wholeheartedly. This is how she felt about God's chosen people. Now, I will admit that 2/3 of our people are wicked. Right? But this is what needs to happen to the so-called white race. The eugenics process. Right? As a matter of fact, we can't even we need annihilation among you. We can't even use eugenics, right? It says he talks about how it's for heritable traits, desirable traits. The Edomite nation has no desirable traits that we want. They have nothing that we want, man. We just want them to be in chains and in slavery. We don't want their looks. We don't want their mindset. We don't want their spirit. We don't want anything from them, man. All right, but that was the Negro Project, right? She wanted to eliminate us, to make us extinct, right? She's a demon, right? And come back to that one. It says, we do not want to go, she said, we do not want word to go out that we want to exterminate the Negro population. And the minister is the man who can straighten out that idea if it ever occurs to any of their more rebellious members. You see, these are quotes from her. We do not want the word to go out that we want to exterminate the Negro population. They want to get rid of us by any means necessary. And this was a subtle way that they've set up in society where all of our young sisters run over to the clinic as soon as something don't go her way. From out being a harlot, most likely to dude she wasn't supposed to be with, This is an unnatural thing. But we in Babylon. Okay? Let me see. I can get one of these other precepts and then I'll go back to that one. Let me see here. This is I guess I'll skip those. All right, let me read this. This is Psalms 58:3. It says, the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. So really, the people who should have been destroyed is the so-called white nation. That's the wicked. That's who the wicked are, according to the Bible. They're estranged from the womb, right? So they as soon as they come out, they're false. They're liars. They're deceivers. Okay, As soon as they be born speaking lies, but they'll say we're the ones who need to be taken out. But these are the devils for you, man. Okay, right? This is, and as a child, as a fetus, the Heavenly Father is the one that put you in the womb. We're all here because of successful childbirth, right? And the Lord is the one that placed you there. But Esau is like, nah, he's going to decrease that number and take you out. This is Isaiah 44:25. Thus saith the Lord thy Redeemer, and he that formed thee from the womb. I am the Lord Yahweh that maketh all things, that stretcheth forth the heavens alone, that spreadeth abroad the earth by myself. You see that? So he said he formed us from the womb, man. All right? That was his will, to form us from the womb. And there's nothing that Esau can do about that. All right? Obviously classic, Jeremiah 1:5. Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. And before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee, and I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations. You see that? So the Lord said he formed us in the womb. You know, you always have mothers. I always heard, what if he becomes a singer? Or what if he becomes a basketball star? You know, he could become a demon too. But nonetheless, it's the Lord's will that he was placed there. You're not just supposed to be aborting him just because Esau said so. You know, or did you think it's something wrong with it? Now, people make some bad decisions out here for sure, but you got to live with your decisions too. You know, I pray the Lord be having mercy on us, because God knows brothers done been in some situations. But the Lord be looking after us, man. You know, let me see here. So yeah, she had another quote here. She said, no woman can call herself free who does not own and control her own body. So that's the mentality that she was pushing to women, right? And that's why she's part of the reason why today we have this, oh, I'm a woman, I can do what I want spirit, that free spirit. That's why she feels like that, right? No woman can call herself free. No, you're free when you're under the tutelage of Yahweh Shemel Shah, and you have a man, a Lord, a husband over you. That's how you become free. It says, and ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Women are intended to be led by men, and we are intended to be led by the Lord. You know, only a wicked woman would say, I'm not intended to be led. Yahweh Shah was intended to be led by his father. The elect are intended to be led by Yahweh Shah. Women are intended to be led by men, and children are intended to be led by their father. That's just order, man. That's just order, and that's all it is. You know, but they are demons. Okay, and so I got a scripture for that too. This is 1 Corinthians 7:4. It says, the wife has not power of her own body, but the husband. You see that? So the wife has not power of her own body. So it says a woman that doesn't have the freedom of her body, hey, she's a straight up demon, man. All right, if your husband want to get down, you should be able to. If your husband say, I need you to, obviously if you're not out like, you know, at work or nothing like that, but your husband say, I want you to come home right now, you're supposed to get home. If your husband say, I don't want you to leave out the house today, you're supposed to listen to that for wisdom's sake, because he's trying to keep you safe. Just as you would tell your children, come home when the lights turn off, the street lights come on, it's because you want to keep your children safe. So how much more a husband to a wife, and how much more the Lord to his men? You see? So this got to be the mind state. But this is the wife had not power of her own body, but the husband. So for her to say a woman that doesn't have control is never free unless she has control of her own body, well, it belongs to the husband. And if we was raised in a righteous society, most of these women will have husbands sooner, you know, so that they can be, and by men of understanding, so they can be led in righteousness. But this place is completely off. These people are completely gone, you know, and you can see how the Lord is going to destroy them, man. You know, but they want, that's one of the things about depopulation, right? They said they want to depopulate the world from 8 billion to 500 million or something like that. See, they got their goals, but the Lord is going to destroy their minds, their thoughts, right? Their intentions, their devices. All of that's going to go down the drain. You know, so you just got to be circumspect about you ladies out here, too. Our foremothers were grateful to have a child. We're rejoicing to have children. You know, I was trying to think of Hannah. I believe Hannah, you know, was, let me see, Hannah was also barren, and she rejoiced in the Lord, you know, and sanctified her child to the Lord, man. You see, so it's many other stories. Okay, many other stories of our forefathers doing great things, and our foremothers. You know, you don't see them going and giving up their child to the murderer, right? But in Babylon, America, hey, it's like it's happening all the time. They're making money off of the fact that our people are willing to destroy their own kind. This is Psalm 127:3. It says, "Lo, children are an heritage of the Lord Yahweh, and the fruit of the womb is his reward," right? So the fruit of the womb, having children, is the Lord's reward. But Esau will do anything to try to tear you down, tear you apart, make your part not important. You know, but the time is going to come when the Lord is going to destroy all of these Edomites, all these wicked people. And it is going to be what it is. Depopulate the earth, man. You know, see? And just want to get rid of our people. And, hey, and Margaret Sanger, don't be surprised if her ass is back on this earth. Being a straight up demon right now. You know, what was that? I said 1940, so. Yeah, it ain't too long ago. What's that? 34, 44. 50 years. So shit, she would be like maybe like 85, almost 85. Yeah, so she ain't she ain't back now. Most likely she in a spiritual realm, but this bitch gonna be a slave in the kingdom of heaven. She's a demon. And she knows she being a demon now that she with the Lord. You see? And I think she was out before that. They had that quote. Yeah, I don't know when this place gotta go, man. They'll never pass up. That's what people say in the comment. They'll never pass up those pamphlets in so-called white neighborhoods. It's always to Jake. It's always to you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. They don't do this to. They don't be going into the Elamite communities passing out flyers, or to the Moabite schools passing out flyers. They want Jake to off their babies. That's, you know, when they get a Jake to agree to it, they get excited. They probably get some fucking commission on they goddamn demonic ass, man. But this thing gotta go down, and we just gotta stay prayed up and remember Yahweh Shem Shah is guiding us and leading us. And don't let these devils deter you and think that everything that they do the opposite, man. You know, so hey, I pray, Lord willing, that this list was edifying. I want to give all the praise, the honor, and the glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Rachakodash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone to rule well, and peace and mercy to the elect. Until next time, Shalom.